Good morning. I'm Dr. Scott Krozik, the university's Senior Chief Academic Officer for Academic Programs.
I am Dr. Adana J. Johnson, the university's Associate Chief Academic Officer for Faculty Affairs.
And I am Dr. Maisha Carter, the university's Associate Chief Academic Officer for the Student Experience. To introduce our 2025 opening convocation ceremony, we would like to share a few vignettes with you. They highlight the impacts that our faculty members are having in the lives of students both on campus and beyond, and offer profiles of the extraordinary ways that our students are harnessing their power through their UDC experiences.
When Dr. Elizabeth Guerin arrived at UDC, she carried both the roots of community and a passion for sustainable urbanization. What makes her unique is her talent for connecting the classroom and the community. In her classes, students don't learn about sustainable practices, they experience them. They interview elders about neighborhood parks, design planning guides for residents, even take to the streets of Washington, D.C. to witness for themselves the effects of their work. Dean of the College of Agriculture, Urban Sustainability, and Environmental Sciences, Dr. Dwayne Jones, now refers to Dr. Guerin as a rare combination of academic excellence and community engagement. And students do too, calling her a teacher who provides more than knowledge. They said she gives them confidence. Dr. Guerin was touched by this recognition, saying, "This is very validating for me. It makes my heart sing." Throughout her career, she has opened doors for students and connected them with mentors, encouraging them to believe that their voices have value. Her students leave her courses with more than completed homework. They leave feeling like they can shape the future of their city. Today, we recognize Dr. Elizabeth Guerin for her exemplary service, her commitment to community, and her steadfast faith in the change-making abilities of higher education.
Attorney David Singleton is a professor at UDC Law and is the Associate Dean for its clinics and experimental programs. He joined UDC after over 20 years as a lawyer, an advocate for prisoners and other disenfranchised persons. His career has always been for social justice, and he brings that into every class he teaches. For example, he insists on his students addressing him as David because he wants them to enter courtrooms as his equal. I don't have to have the title to let them know I am the head of the classroom and to be respected, he says. I want my students to know they are as good as any other person they run into. He is also known for going above and beyond to support his students. On more than one occasion, he has contributed his own resources to ensure they didn't miss valuable opportunities. Students say he makes the law clear and accessible, connecting classroom lessons to the realities of the fight for justice and showing them that they already have what it takes to lead. To Professor Singleton, UDC's law mission is like the completion of his life's work. To be here is the capstone of my legal career. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. We pay tribute today to Professor Singleton for such a remarkable work and his decades-long struggle for justice, and for his faith that our graduates, in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s words, he says, will bend the arc of the moral universe toward justice.
Professor Yoko Ferguson is the metadata and cataloging librarian at UDC. In just a few short years, she has fundamentally changed how students and professors obtain knowledge. She oversees how our library resources are presented in the library catalog, creates collections that highlight Black history, and make sure theses and dissertations are preserved and made available to the world. Her work is as technical as it is human. She has led in the direction of inclusive and reparative cataloging, removing damaging or outdated subject terms and replacing them with dignified and respected language. Language matters, she explains. As educators, we want our catalogs to be less exclusionary. Professor Ferguson also coaches the coming generations of librarians, offering internships that allow students to receive hands-on cataloging training they didn't know they needed. Her students say she is exacting and kind, someone who makes them feel both buoyed and pushed. Fiona Potter, the Adult Services and Programming Librarian at the Redwood City Public Library, reflected on a remote cataloging internship that she completed at UDC under Professor Ferguson through the Asian Pacific American Librarians Association mentorship program in summer 2025. She writes, I had the privilege to work with UDC cataloging and metadata librarian, Dr. Yoko Ferguson, on a series of virtual projects to learn about cataloging in an academic library. Yoko taught me how to enhance ebook records to improve their accuracy and discoverability in the catalog. I enjoyed learning new technical skills and seeing how all of the pieces in the process came together. It was also very interesting to engage with the breadth of original research that has been conducted by UDC students. Above all, it felt rewarding to contribute to the cooperative cataloging systems that support research and discovery at libraries around the world. I am very grateful to Yoko for taking the time to teach me about this complex subject and creating these structured opportunities. Professor Ferguson says the best thing about UDC is that I've worked at other places, other institutions, but I didn't feel that they were my home. UDC is home. Today, we recognize Professor Yoko Ferguson for her commitment to broad participation and availability of scholarship, her overwhelming care and concern for her students, and her strong belief that every voice has a right to exist and a place to be seen, heard, and valued.
Dr. Ashley Daniels is a political scientist whose work bridges scholarship and community. She served as project director for the Black Girls Vote Research Network. Her organization released a groundbreaking report on Black girls and political behavior. In the classroom at UDC, Dr. Daniels gives students chances to publish their knowledge beyond the classroom, helping them create workshops for young people. Students mention that these experiences have been some of the most meaningful in their academic careers. Dr. Daniels is quick to praise others for her achievements. I'm just one star in an incredible galaxy of colleagues, she states. At UDC, they embrace me as both a scholar and a practitioner. Today, we pay tribute to Dr. Ashley Daniels, her research, her commitment never to stop fighting for Black girls, her students, and her community.
When Professor Susie Cato joined UDC's nursing program in 1972, she thought she'd stay for just 1 year. More than 5 decades later, she is still here, passing the tradition on. Through tremendous changes in the field, she has kept a calm hand and a generous heart. What gives her real pleasure, she says, is watching her students graduate, sit confidently for board exams, then engaging in a rewarding nursing career. Colleagues called her a perennial of the program. Students say she pushes them to their best because she has faith in their abilities. For decades, Professor Cato has been a steady presence in the nursing program. guiding students who have gone on to serve with skill and compassion. Recently, alumna LaToya Francis, AASN RN, forwarded this note to Dr. Cato. Dear Dr. Cato, I want to sincerely thank you for believing in me and for the grace you have extended to help me grow and develop into the nurse I am today. Your support and guidance have been instrumental in shaping my character and preparing me for my new career as a registered nurse. I am happy to report that I passed my NCLEX on my first attempt, completing the exam in 85 questions. I am excited to share that I will be starting my first job as a registered nurse at MedStar Washington Hospital Center on the Labor and Delivery Unit on July 21st, 2025. As I embark on this next chapter, I will continually reflect on the invaluable lessons you have taught me about leadership, teamwork, and communication. Your mentorship has reminded me of the core reason for becoming a nurse: to be a part of someone's story, bringing joy, aiding in healing, and showing genuine care for their well-being. Your belief in me when it was not required means the world to me. For that, I will forever hold you in the highest regard and sing your praises. Should you ever need assistance in mentoring future students, I would be honored to return to my beloved UDC CC nursing program and give back in any way I can. Thank you once again for everything." End quote. Today, we pay tribute to Professor Susie Cato for her exceptional work, her influence in nursing education, and a life's work that has turned 1 year into 50 years of impact.
I just want to ask Dr. Cato to stand if you are out in the audience. Can we raise the lights and acknowledge and recognize Dr. Cato? Thank you. Professor Brian Higgs came to UDC because he wanted to be a part of creating a new graduate program in the School of Engineering. Since then, he has attracted notice for getting students through complicated challenges while inciting them to see matters on a larger canvas. He is most proud of leading a $1 million National Science Foundation HBCU RISE grant that established the UDC Center of Climate Change Analytics, giving graduate students new tools for research and innovation. His work on climate change challenges students to envision their own futures. I have them picture the year 2050, when they'll be in the middle of their careers, and ask, what can we do now to avoid that problem? Through examinations of such global challenges as climate change, students are challenged to set their own course. For him, this recognition is deeply meaningful. Being honored means validation, he says. It reinforces my motivation. Today, we recognize Professor Brian Higgs for his vision, his mentorship, and his commitment to educating engineers who can handle the tough and original problems facing society.
Dr. Donovan Collier joined UDC because he wanted to be able to teach in Washington, D.C. at a public university. The reason he stayed on, he says, is the students. Dr. Collier says that teaching at UDC has been immensely rewarding and that he has worked with determined, diverse, and able students. He believes his biggest impact has been from the steady daily work that he gives students the confidence to find and fulfill their success, confidence they'll take into their careers and into their communities. As a scholar who studies organizational resilience, Dr. Collier assists learners in bridging research and practice. In his business policy and strategy capstone course, students operate virtual multinational companies, proving they can compete, adapt in times of uncertainty, and meet new challenges. It is, he says, a course in preparation for the realities they will encounter: changing markets, technological advances, and most important, the human intricacies that underpin every organization. Dr. Collier feels that this recognition is an absolute honor. As UDC is, above all, a teaching institution, he is happy and grateful to be among so many colleagues who share his devotion. We honor Dr. Collier today for his scholarship, for his dedication to students, and for his understanding of education's capacity to prepare students as resilient leaders.
To Jade Martinez and Miguel Sanchez, UDC is more than a school. It's where they discovered their calling, met their friends, and each other. Los Angeles native Jade was a lacrosse recruit to UDC. She rose to lead the Student Athlete Advisory Committee and the Latinx Association. She graduated with dual degrees in English and political science and is now a 1L at UDC Law. I fell in love with the culture here, she explained. Professors know your name and remain connected even after you leave. Jade continues to lift up UDC by example, sharing her story with others and showing how powerful this community can be. Miguel, a Navy veteran from rural Georgia, never expected college to be a part of his journey, but inspired by Jade, he set his sights on UDC, which was the only school he applied to. Once admitted, he finally found a place where he could feel at home and thrive. And the best thing about it, he's doing it next to the woman who encouraged him, the woman he plans to marry. Miguel is an electrical engineering major, president of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, a successful Pepco Power Scholar, and Mr. UDC. It really feels like a family here at the university, he says. Together they have faced challenges, including 2 years apart during Miguel's military deployment. But their support for each other has never wavered. Students and staff alike point to them as role models of leadership and resilience. Today, we recognize Jade and Miguel for their incredible stories. Today, we recognize Jade and Miguel for their incredible stories, what they have done for the Firebird community, and their unrelenting Firebird spirit.
Thank you. Would you now please give all of our honorees a big round of applause?
Convocation is a cherished tradition that brings our community together to celebrate both legacy and promise. To open today's program, we turn to the voices of those who represent the heart of our university, our student leaders. Please welcome to the stage the presidents and representatives of our student government associations to greet you and set the occasion for today's ceremony.
Marks the celebration of the formal start of the academic year. Its purpose has traditionally been to celebrate students with particular focus on the incoming class. Our University of the District of Columbia, Convocation, takes a bit less traditional approach, celebrating all of the members of our academic community and using the pause of this ceremony to honor markers of our academic richness through highlights of our student and faculty members.
Today, we welcome our fellow students, those incoming as new freshmen and transfers, and those who are returning and moving ever closer to their goals of graduation, employment, and next levels of education. We pause to recognize our alumni and thank those who joined us today. And we highlight the student organizations that have taken up the charges of leadership, advocacy, and collaboration towards ensuring that the student voice figures prominently in institutional processes of planning and prioritization.
We put the spotlight on extraordinary members of our academic programs, our deans, chairs, faculty members, and the administrative and instructional support staff who manage our department offices, shepherd our program budgets, and ensure that our lab spaces are well maintained, well stocked, and always prepared for the next class. We offer a special recognition of our faculty, emeriti, who support us with their presence, talents, and gifts.
We celebrate the extraordinary responsibility the university shoulders in the academic lives of its students. And we pledge our support as partners with President Edison, his cabinet, and the leadership team in building the infrastructure that will elevate the power of our faculty and the opportunities for learning in the classroom and in the field.
We salute our UDC academic leaders and faculty members. They elevate the power and responsibility of the classroom and prioritize the student-faculty partnership. In ensuring competitive student outcomes, they champion the transformative power of experiential education and its bridges to jobs. They build the relationships and drive for understanding of educating the whole student and providing each graduate with a network for life.
Today, we celebrate a legacy of nearly 175 years of turning potential into power. Welcome to Opening Convocation 2025. Thank you. At this time, it is my pleasure to welcome the university's Chief Academic Officer, Dr. April Massey, who will preside over today's convocation.
On August 21st of this year, Professor Adrian Robinson received the following email. Hi, Professor Robinson. I'm back in Virginia packing up my stuff to move out and had a free day to come and stop by the hangar. When I got there, Ms. Rouse said I'd missed all of you by 5 minutes. I just wanted to update you that I got my license and was hired by United for the line maintenance in Chicago. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to thank you in person, but your instruction got me through my interview. I was interviewed by 2 people. One of the people for the behavioral questions, and the other was the lead tech at the Denver location, who asked me the technical questions. The first question he asked me was what was my favorite project during my schooling. I told him that turbine engine overhaul was hands down my favorite, and from then on, every question that he asked me was about turbine engines. I was able to quickly and correctly answer anything he threw at me because of the way that you presented the information by having us do the research, do the inspection, and do the organization. I know turbine engines inside and out, and I wanted you to know that it helped me immensely in the interview process. Thank you again for taking the time to educate me and share your passion for this industry. If you're ever in Chicago, please reach out and we'll grab a beer and/or a deep dish pizza. Stephen, thank you. So good morning, I am April Massey and I'm honored to serve as the university's Chief Academic Officer. Through the role of CAO, I am tasked with leading the university's academic operation, ensuring the strength and impacts of our programs, the quality of our curriculum, the depths of our community partnerships and engagements, and the competitiveness of our student experience. Today, I lead the charge of elevating the story of what that looks like on the ground, on our campus, and in this community. This morning, you've heard and you will hear but a snippet of all of the great work happening across the community, our community, and the ways that data sets, big and small, formal and informal, and by each small anecdote, are validating that great work. We gather today to celebrate the beginning of our new academic year and the beginning of our 175th year celebration of our commitment to turning potential into power. Today, we wave the flag of our good, and we showcase the transformative power of our classrooms in the lives of our students and the communities where they live, work, and serve. I thank you for being here today to share with us in this journey. I'd also like to welcome those who are joining us via live stream and alert you to the QR code that now shows on the screen and that is also on your program card. It will give you access to the full program with all of the pieces of information on everybody that's been honored today and everybody that will grace the podium. So my teleprompter has frozen. Okay, so that's why I have the backup. Okay. Mayor Bowser, all right. As you are able, I would ask that you now please stand and remain standing. We will have before we have the presentation of colors, I would like to be joined by the remaining members of the podium. So Dr. Eddington, Trustee Session, Dr. Huron, Reverend Parks. Thank you. So, as you are able, would you please stand and remain standing for the presentation of colors by the Metropolitan Police Department Ceremonial Honor Guard Unit. They will be followed by the Star Spangled Banner, led by Professor Johnny Butler and the UDC Chorale, accompanied by Professor Evelyn Curenton. And the Star Spangled Banner will be followed by the invocation presented by the Reverend Clarence J. Parks, Senior Pastor of Tabernacle Baptist Church in Washington, D.C. Thank you.
Let us pray. Eternal and Almighty God, we gather this day in gratitude for life, for learning, and new beginnings. As this convocation marks the threshold of another academic year at the University of the District of Columbia, God, we acknowledge that you are the source of wisdom and strength. We thank you for the vision and legacy of this institution. We honor the faculty, staff, and leaders who dedicate themselves to the pursuit of knowledge, and we especially bless the students whose journeys are unfolding with promise and purpose. O Lord, you have placed within each of us immense potential, gifts of intellect, creativity, resilience, and service. Today we ask for your guidance to turn that potential into power. That is, power to achieve excellence, power to achieve and overcome adversity, and power to build a future that uplifts our communities and transforms our world. May this convocation remind us that learning is sacred, that knowledge brings responsibility, and that education is both a privilege and a calling. Bless this university, its mission, and all who enter these halls, that together we may be instruments of justice, opportunity, and hope. In your holy name we pray this, and we say amen.
You may be seated. We give our thanks to the Ceremonial Honor Guard, we give our thanks to our own UDC Chorale, and we give our thanks to Reverend Parks. Mayor Bowser, who has been a staunch supporter of the University of the District of Columbia, she regrets that she cannot be here today, but she did send a letter forward, and I'd like to read that to you now. She says, I am honored to welcome our new Board of Trustees Chairman, Mr. Warner Session. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I need to get to the mayor's letter. Okay. Fortunately, I never leave home without them. Or these. Okay, so now I'm going to read the mayor's letter. As mayor of Washington, D.C., I am pleased to extend congratulations to the University of the District of Columbia on the milestone occasion of your 175th anniversary. The Firebird represents rebirth, resilience, and legacy, aligning perfectly with the district history of transformation and progress unique to the University of the District of Columbia. Founded in 1851 by Myrtilla Minor, specifically for the education of young Black women, Minor Teachers College served as a catalyst for public higher education in Washington, D.C. In 1955, following Brown versus the Board of Education and the desegregation of schools, Minor and its all-white peer institution, Wilson Teachers College, merged and became the District of Columbia Teachers College. In 1976, thanks to the advocacy of DC residents who wanted more diverse training options from our public education institution, the Council of the District of Columbia authorized the consolidation of DC Teachers, Federal City College, and the Washington Technical Institution into what we now know and love, the University of the District of Columbia. UDC offers over 81 undergraduate and graduate academic degrees, and for the 175 years of its existence, has been a consistent resource for all residents in pursuit of higher education. Steadfast in its mission as a public, historically Black university, UDC remains dedicated to serving the needs of all of the DC community, and continues to transform to meet the changing needs of its students. To President Maurice D. Eddington, the dedicated Board of Trustees, students, faculty, administrators, and alumnus, I am deeply grateful for all you do to make Washington, D.C. world-renowned in public higher education today and for generations to come. Once again, on behalf of the more than 700,000 residents of Washington, D.C., congratulations to the University of the District of Columbia on your 175-year legacy of turning potential into power. Go Firebirds. The Honorable Muriel Bowser. turn, teleprompter. I am honored now to welcome our new Board of Trustees Chairman, Mr. Warner Sessions, to the podium to bring greetings. Following Chair Sessions, President Eddington, the 10th President of the University of the District of Columbia, will bring greetings, and he will be followed by our Chief Development and Success Officer, Dr. Terry Littleberry, who will bring greetings. Thank you.
Good morning, Firebird Nation. I don't know about you, but I am super excited about this coming academic year. On behalf of the University of District of Columbia Board of Trustees, I would like to welcome you one and all, faculty, staff, and students, new and old, to UDC's 175th academic year. I'd like my colleagues on the Board of Trustees please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you. And I believe I see our former mayor, Sharon Pratt. Please stand. Those 175 years hold a lot of history. They hold the history of an HBCU, the history of the only urban land-grant university in the country, and above all else, the history of educating DC's residents so that they can learn, grow, and meet any challenge that may lie ahead. As members of UDC's community, you are all also part of that history, part of the tremendous potential that this university embodies. In our rapidly changing world, the potential cannot remain dormant. Therefore, UDC's 175th anniversary comes with the theme from the university's motto, turning potential into power, a year of innovation and transformation. This theme acknowledges the substantial work that the university has undertaken over the past few years to bring UDC's legacy to life as a real-world change. Dr. King said that the goal of education is not only to build intelligence, but also to build character. So here at UDC, not only are we building bright minds, we are building character. Under this strong and sure leadership of our president, Dr. Eddington, and his incredible senior team and all the faculty members, we really do have a dream team here. Under the strong leadership, we have more students, more faculty, better facilities, and so much more. These changes, guided by the university's strategic plan, have begun to tap into that great potential at a moment when our city and our country really needs it. So what does UDC offer? Workforce development, industry partnerships, and most importantly, opportunity for every resident in the District of Columbia's 8 wards to transform their own potential into power. Dr. W.E. Du Bois once said that education must not simply teach work, but it must teach life. So as we celebrate 175 years of academic achievement and community, I invite you to use UDC's legacy, its potential to innovate. After all, you can't learn if you don't try something new. Whether it be a class in a new area or pushing your comfort zone, by becoming more involved in the university community. This innovation is necessary for us to continue to transform our potential into power, and to rise to meet new challenges. This is how we will blaze a new path that will cause those who come before us to see this 175th anniversary not only as history, but as the beginning of an even greater legacy. Good luck, and we'll see you around campus.
Good morning, Firebirds. Good morning. Thank you for that. Before we begin, I'd like to also recognize the members of our Board of Trustees. You've met our Chair, Warner Sessions. I see Dr. Carolyn Rudd, Dr. Tracy Jackson, and our dynamic student trustee, Karen, over there in the back. Good to see you all as always. Also want to welcome our faculty leadership, our staff leadership, senior leadership team, deans, faculty, students, and entire Firebird Nation that's joining us here today in person as well as virtually. Also want to acknowledge our partners, our community leaders, and elected officials. Mayor Pratt, good to see you. Ambassador Antoine, is that you over there? Good to see you, sir. All right. Just want to, again, continue to thank you all for your great support for this wonderful university. Also, special thanks and acknowledgement of our First Lady, my wife, Tanya. Good to see you. Appreciate you for your constant support and partnership in leading Firebird Nation. And to our students and student leaders, you are the reason that we are here today. And I want to thank you for being a part of this convocation. When we think about our theme this year, turning potential into power, a year of innovation and transformation, this speaks to each and every member of our community. For our students, this is an invitation to unlock new pathways, whether you're beginning college, returning to complete a degree, or building new skills for your career. UDC is here to help you achieve your goals. For our faculty, this is a call to share knowledge, scholarship, and creativity to shape the next generation of leaders. For our staff, this is a recognition of the dedication and professionalism that keeps UDC running and our community thriving. For our alumni, this is a reminder of your accomplishments, and it illuminates what's possible when you go to UDC. That's right, it's what's possible. And your engagement as alumni continues to strengthen this institution and will do so for generations to come. Our theme is also a call for the district that we proudly serve. It's an affirmation that UDC is preparing the workforce our city needs, it's fueling progress, and making a positive impact across all 8 wards in this wonderful city. Over this past year, we have made tremendous progress. Our institutional reaccreditation reaffirms the enduring value of a UDC degree. We have expanded partnerships with industry, government, and community organizations, creating new opportunities for our students and advancing our mission across the district. We have also invested millions and will continue to invest in classrooms, laboratories, student support to ensure a learning experience second to none. We are on a mission to provide you with a world-class learning experience. These milestones open doors for every student and extend our impact citywide and beyond. Now, we build on this momentum, driving workforce development through career training and industry partnerships, advancing student success through excellence in teaching and learning, and deepening community impact through research, service, and civic engagement. To our new and returning students, faculty, and staff, thank you for your dedication and commitment. You embody the spirit and the strength of this great city. As we celebrate 175 years of turning potential into power, let us rise to meet this moment together and continue building a future that's worthy of our legacy and the district we proudly serve. Welcome to a new year of excellence, innovation, and transformation. Go Firebirds! All right.
Good morning. I am delighted to celebrate the opening fall convocation of the University of the District of Columbia with you as we kick off our 175th year. Convocation is ceremonial and reflective as it is a call to action, reminding us of the collective responsibility that we share to deliver on the promise of UDC. That dream is fulfilled when Student Affairs resources connect with the expectations of academic affairs, creating opportunities for students to excel, to lead, and to serve. As we celebrate this momentous year, I urge all of you to take full advantage of the resources and opportunities before you. Career services, academic advising, leadership programs, wellness activities, and student organizations are just a few of the many ways UDC is prepared to help you turn your potential into power. Convocation is the start of a semester, but so much more. It's a moment for renewal and for commitment. As we move forward, let's all do our part as students, faculty, and staff of this great university to pass on an institution that is stronger and more vibrant for generations to come. May we all have an uplifting academic year. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Chairman Session, President Eddington, and Dr. Littleberry. Can we give them another round of applause, please? And I'd like to invite the chorale back to the stage for another selection. Professor Butler.
Stay strong, I tell myself. When things are going wrong, those times I long to be a winner. As I see my chances growing dimmer, I hold on to a memory.
Small one, my mother said,
Can we please give another round of applause? To the UDC Chorale. Wow. I want you to please join me now in welcoming our university faculty and staff leaders and representatives. They will bring this year's academic charge.
Good morning. I am Laverne Gooding Jones, and I serve as president of UDC, ASME, AFL-CIO, District of Columbia, Council 20, Local 2087, representing the university's unionized staff members who are responsible for supporting campus operations at every location and every level of our institution. Would my colleagues please stand and be recognized? Staff. Staff. There you go. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Al Pearsall, Albert, and I serve as president of the University of the District of Columbia's Faculty Association, National Education Association, representing 220 plus full-time unionized faculty members serving as instructors, assistant, associate, and full professors in the university's Community College, College of Arts and Sciences, College of Agriculture and Urban Sustainability and Environmental Sciences, Division of Learning Resources, School of Business and Public Administration, and School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Would my wonderful, fantastic colleagues please stand and be recognized? Woohoo! Thank you.
Good morning. I am Angela Gilmore, and I serve as the interim dean at the University of the District of Columbia School of Law. I represent the more than 50 faculty and staff who are preparing the world's next generation of social justice lawyers. Would my colleagues please stand and be recognized? Thank you.
Good morning, Firebirds. I am Adjunct Professor Dr. Fraser O'Leary, and I represent the Service Employees International Union, Local 500, the university's adjunct faculty union. Our university engages more than 200 adjutants annually to support academic courses at every degree level of the university, from introductory courses to senior capstones and advanced classes in our graduate and professional programs. Would my colleagues please stand and be recognized for all you do to help our students turn their potential into power. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Tyshana Sales, and I serve as the accreditation coordinator for the College of Arts and Sciences. Today, I represent the university's non-union staff that support operations, administrative leadership, and activities across all campus locations. Would my colleagues please join me and stand?
And good morning. I'm Dr. Andrea Adams, and I serve as Vice Chair of the UDC Faculty Senate, and I represent the faculty body that shepherds the quality and effectiveness of the university's academic programs. Would all faculty senators please stand and be recognized? Together with my colleagues at this podium, I'd like to welcome you to academic year 2025-26 and enlist your commitment to lead with excellence and uphold our collective charge of ensuring that every action that we undertake this academic year sustains an environment of transformative teaching, learning, and academic support that positions our students for the highest levels of success at turning their potential into power. Thank you.
Can we give a big round of applause to our faculty and staff leaders and representatives, and to all of the constituencies that they represent in this audience today? We have now gotten to the point in our program where we introduce a new element. This will be the first year of a Convocation lecturer, a faculty member, who's being honored because of the ways that they have shown up in our classrooms over a number of years, and the power of their ability to turn potential into power is well recognized on our campus. This year, I'm pleased to announce that this new feature is really a mini lecture presented by a UDC faculty member. The faculty member was identified through a nominating process, and the selection celebrates that faculty member's work as a scholar, teacher, and leader on our campus in immersive teaching and learning. The lecture is an 8 to 12 minute talk following the theme, dialogue, or curricular strand of a previous course that the faculty member has taught. The goal is to highlight the experiential depth of their teaching and the impacts that it's having on student learning. The faculty lecturer is introduced by current or former students who reflect on the transformative power of the faculty member's teaching and the ways that it moved them to independence in thought and intellectual advocacy. I am pleased to announce Dr. Amanda Huron as the inaugural University of the District of Columbia Convocation lecturer. Can we give her a round? Dr. Huron has been an exemplar in the immersive teaching space on our campus since she arrived. To introduce Dr. Huron, I would like to welcome two of her former students to the podium, two alums, Ms. Mariana Barros-Titus. She's a seasoned community organizer working at the intersection of public history and advocacy. Her work focuses on charting the history of community formation in the District of Columbia, including studying Black placemaking and how the legacy of racially restrictive covenants has shaped the demographic and economic distributions of the District of Columbia. She's a co-founder of the Black Broad Branch Project. She has documented a Black community that was forcibly dislocated when Chevy Chase, DC was developed around their ancestral land. In addition, her work traces the history of community formation, transformation, and processes of integration within DC's Latinx communities. Mariana is currently Senior Manager of Community Engagement for the DC History Center. Her ongoing responsibilities in this role include supporting the DC History Center's work toward connecting across all 8 wards of the city. She also provides staff support to the center's stakeholders, advisory groups, including the DC History Center's Community Council and the Latino, Latina, Latinx Advisory Group. Ms. Barros-Titus holds a BA in Political Science from UDC. She will be joined at the podium by her colleague, Mr. Corey Shaw Jr., He's a 2022 graduate of the University of the District of Columbia and a DC native, having lifelong roots in Ward 7, and he is a graduate of Anacostia High School. As an academic, Corey has used his background as an oral historian to conduct research on historically underrepresented communities around the country. As a professional, Corey has worked for the Greater Washington Urban League, the African American Redress Network, and Empower DC to advance housing justice, environmental justice, narrative change work, and the calls for reparations at the local and national levels. In his private capacity, Corey is also a non-descendant co-founder of the Black Broad Branch Project, a reparations project grounded in the history of two Black families who lived in Chevy Chase, and also serves as the co-chair of the DC chapter of the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America. In all of these roles, Corey has strived to bring his passion for justice, equity, and repair and turn it into reality. Would you please join me in welcoming Ms. Mariana Barros-Titus and Mr. Corey Shaw Jr. to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. It is not hyperbole for me to say that the University of the District of Columbia changed the trajectory of my life. As an alumna of the political science program, I was equipped not only with the tools as a scholar, but perhaps most importantly, with the epistemological framework that is uniquely available at this institution. We learn here that there is no one way of knowing, there is no one way of learning, and indeed, history shows us that our communities have survived at our best when we lean into the practices, the knowledge, and the stories that have been at risk of erasure for as long as this nation has existed. At the genesis of that learning, for me, stands Dr. Amanda Huron. When I first got to UDC, like perhaps many of us who walk these halls, I carried with me the baggage of a lifetime marred by the violence of low expectations. Dr. Huron not only introduced me to use the tools and topics that I explore in my professional life now as a public historian of DC, but she made me believe that I could, and that if I could, I must. Her focus on the hyper-local stories and communities that make up the best parts of DC, not Washington, but DC, inspired me to really know in my bones that if I want to make a difference in this world, I have to start on my own block, with my own people, in my own neighborhood. And further, that in order for us to move forward, we must always, always look back. And so it's my absolute honor to be able to stand in the legacy of Dr. Huron and the UDC Political Science program. And I'm really proud to be able to witness her receiving this honor and to stand at the vanguard of this new tradition. Thank you.
Good morning. 175 years UDC. I am a child of the university. My grandmother attended UDC. My mother attended UDC. My father attended UDC. My sister attends UDC. And my grandmother worked at the university. I can remember some of my earliest years, and some of you might recall when there was a daycare facility on Van Ness. I can remember my earliest years being picked up by my grandmother, because she worked across the hall, and being taken down to the pool to swim, okay? I am so blessed to say that I have spent 4.5 of the 175 years of UDC at the university and having graduated with a degree in political science. I first encountered Dr. Huron as a student in her class, The Politics of Urban Housing. And I remember very vividly kind of coming to that class with a bit of skepticism. Who was this woman that wanted to talk to me about urban housing in DC? And when I finished the class, I came to understand that Dr. Amanda Huron is the epitome of understanding that education through action is the right way to do it. And she embodies that principle that I think really permeates the university's philosophy extremely well. I got my start as an oral historian doing interviews on the Black Broad Branch Project when it was a class at UDC. And that work would not have blossomed into a reparations project that has gone for 4 years without Dr. Amanda Huron. I would not have had the opportunity to travel the country and do reparations work on the local and national level if Dr. Huron had not made a connection to someone that was already doing the work, and that afforded me all kinds of opportunities. It was also Dr. Huron that connected me with Dr. Cruz, who was a part of the village that made sure that I got across the stage in 2022, that introduced me to the Greater Washington Urban League and got me my first job even before I had graduated, and made sure that I was straight before I even walked across the stage. And so as I sort of get ready to introduce her, understand that this woman is the legacy of the District of Columbia and the university, and the work that she does, again, epitomizes the importance of understanding education through action. Thank you, and with that, I'll introduce Dr. Amanda Huron.
You heard from my students, our students. I don't even know if you need to hear from me. I mean, they're incredible. But thank you so much for inviting me to give this talk. Thank you, Mariana and Corey, for that incredible introduction. It is such an honor. Again, my name is Amanda Huron. I was born and raised here in Washington, D.C., and teaching at UDC is my dream job. I've been here 14 years, and I love it. I have incredible students, I have incredible colleagues, and it's an amazing experience. So I'm going to talk to you today about my work teaching DC history here at UDC, and why I think the study of DC history and the study of the humanities actually more broadly is particularly important today, given both our current political crisis and our growing crisis of attention, which I'll get to soon. So the title of my talk is Attending to History, DC History at UDC. DC history is one of my areas of scholarly expertise. Most semesters I teach this class, the history of the District of Columbia. And in this class, we both learn the facts of DC history and also how to conduct our own original research. This class is a joy to teach because so many students come in with a keen interest in their city's history. I'm committed to infusing this class with experiential learning because I know it engages students, so I want to share some of those experiences with you. Here we are at the Navy Yard waterfront on a field trip a few years ago. Sometimes this involves field trips to local archives to delve into the city's past, looking at primary original documents. Every semester we go to the People's Archive at the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library, our city's central public library. We've been to the Kiplinger Library at the DC History Center, where Mariana now works. And we've been to the DC Public Schools Archives at the Charles Sumner School and Museum. Many of my students are education majors. This is particularly interesting to them. We've gone on field trips to explore the alley dwellings of Capitol Hill. Students love these trips, and they often bring along family members and friends. In fact, in this image, we see 4 children of my students, 1 fiance and 1 friend, who have come along on the trip. And this is great. To me, this is multi-generational, lifelong learning in action. This is another class on a boat tour of the river led by the Anacostia Watershed Society that we did a few years ago. Many of my students who had been born and raised in DC told me this was their first time on the Anacostia River. At UDC, our DC history class, as I said, it's required for our education majors and our social work majors, most of whom go on to careers in this city. In fact, many of our education majors will themselves teach DC history in the public schools. The class is also a popular elective for students from other majors, ranging from political science to digital media to urban sustainability to, yes, even mathematics. And in addition to being valuable in its own right, this class really does help students prepare for some exciting future opportunities that I want to talk about now. So one is, for the past 5 years, the DC History Center has committed to hiring one of my high-performing DC history students each year for a paid internship on a project that is both of interest to the student and fills a need at the center. Our first intern was political science major Mariana Barros-Titus, who you've already heard from. Mariana, in her work, created a guide to Latinx archival resources in DC. The following year, political science major Kelsey Aguilar created an outreach program based on Mariana's work. The next year, political science major Carlos McKnight created a research guide to sources there, and the following year, urban sustainability major Roxanne Shidlaw worked on guides to the DC History Center's collections. Just this past spring, math major Azal Gant created an online interactive map of Black history in the Chevy Chase neighborhood of DC. Other students have gone on to do other exciting internships in the field of DC history. So to name just a few, Mariana, in the introduction to Mariana, it was mentioned her work around racially restrictive covenants in the city and understanding that history. So two of my students, Monica McDuffie and Amina Ndaye, interned on the Mapping Segregation in DC project. Here they are researching racially restrictive property deeds in the DC archives for the organization Prologue DC, which has been engaged in a long-term project to map exactly where these racially restrictive covenants have been in the city's history to understand our patterns of racial segregation. This past spring, social work major Aviana Green interned on the DC Black Artists Oral History Project. And currently, right now, digital media major Jacob Walker is interning as the public history mentor for the Friendship Heights Alliance Youth Advisory Council. So lots of great work going on in terms of internships around the city. Students have also been involved in the annual DC History Conference in many ways. Here are students at a reception at the conference this year. They have presented research. Aisha Lawrence presented research this spring that began as her final project in our DC history class. She presented her research on the history of the Big Chair in Southeast DC. If you're familiar with that iconic landmark, has a really fascinating history. Students have volunteered at the conference. Norman Kelly and Nubia Canese Montesinos were here volunteering at the Free DC table at the DC History Conference this year. Many of my students have attended this conference over the years, scores of students, in fact, because I require them to as part of class. But it's great. They always come up to me afterwards and say, you know, it's really good you actually required us to come because this was so awesome. I say, yes, that's what we're going for here. And in fact, my favorite thing is when I run into students at the conference, like years after they've graduated from UDC, and they're still coming back because they're just interested and they want to keep learning about their city's history. So these are two UDC alumni I've run into at the conference over the years, Hillary Daniel and Carlos McKnight. Again, lifelong learning in action that extends beyond the campus here. I'll talk a little bit about one class in particular. It was mentioned both by Corey and Mariana. This was a class that I taught in the spring of 2021 called Black Land Loss in Washington. It was a political science elective. We were focused on the history of two families in upper northwest DC, two black families who had owned land going back to the 1840s and whose land was taken from them in the 1920s through the process of eminent domain in order to build a park and a public school for white children only in what was becoming the Chevy Chase, the racially restricted neighborhood of Chevy Chase, DC, in the 20s. So in this class, students learned this history. We conducted oral history interviews of the descendants of these two families to learn about how this loss of land had impacted their families in a multi-generational sense, and also what visions they had for repair in the future, for the repair of this loss. So this is us on a visit in February to the land that had been lost by these families, had been taken from these families. And then we went again in the spring later to meet with the descendants of these families in the park. By the end of this project, the students had analyzed their oral history interviews, come up with a set of recommendations for how to envision repair in the future based on what they had heard from the descendants in their interviews. One of the primary ways the descendants had told us they envisioned repair was for their family's history to be known to the public. So the class ended, the project formally ended, but of course it couldn't end. We had to continue on. And Corey and Mariana took the leadership to make sure it continued under the new name of the Black Broad Branch Project. And so students worked in partnership. They did many things to bring this story to the public. One thing they did was to work in partnership with a Georgetown University graduate education class to design a Black Broad Branch curriculum that meets DC public school standards, so that DC history teachers in DC public schools can now grab this curriculum, it fits the standards, and they can teach it to their students. We also worked to create an exhibit on the history of Black Broad Branch. This exhibit is sponsored by the Friendship Heights Alliance. It's on Wisconsin Avenue right now, near the corner of Wisconsin and Ingomar Northwest, if you're interested in checking it out. And today, the Black Broad Branch project is housed at the DC History Center. So this brings me to the full-time work my students have gone on to do in the field of public history in DC. After demonstrating incredible leadership in the Black Broad Branch project and doing phenomenal work in her internship at the DC History Center, Mariana Barros-Titus, who you've already heard from, was hired as the inaugural Community Engagement Manager at the DC History Center and has since been promoted to be the Senior Manager of Community Engagement there. Let's give her another hand. Corey Shaw Jr., who you've also heard from, who together with Mariana has really led the Black Broad Branch project since our class ended 4 years ago, was hired, as you've heard, to be director of the DC Legacy Project at Empower DC. The DC Legacy Project is a public history project that aims to preserve the history of the Berry Farms public housing community as it is being redeveloped. And Corey is just doing incredible work there. And then just one more student who I want to highlight, Carlos McKnight. These are all political science graduates, by the way. Carlos McKnight was hired as a constituent services coordinator for Ward 5 Council member Zachary Parker. And he really infused his knowledge of and interest in the city's history into that role. And this is, in fact, a visit that we paid to the city council, a different class of mine paid to the city council, and my students got to meet Carlos, see him in that role, and it was just really powerful to be able to do that. Carlos is currently applying for graduate programs in history, and I'm so excited that he is going to be contributing to the growing scholarship on this city's history. Can we give Carlos a hand, too? You know, history is, of course, the study of people. And history is one of the humanities. You might have heard a rumor that the humanities are on the wane. Losing majors, losing funding, losing interest, losing respect. But that might actually be starting to change. And a primary reason for that change, counterintuitively, may be the rise of artificial intelligence. With the rise of AI, there's a growing understanding that what we learn when we study the humanities, what we learn about meaning making, about what it means to be human, is actually quite precious. There is, in fact, a strong collective urge to preserve our humanity, what makes us each singular, wondrous human beings, in the face of the increasing automation of thinking, writing, and creating that is surging all around us in the digital realm. Studying the humanities, including history, can help us develop our humanity in the midst of what's become known as an attention economy that seeks to funnel us all into individual, predictable desires and experiences, and to sell our attention to the highest bidder, with terrible ramifications for politics, among other things. As Harvard scholar Danielle Allen said, she's a classic scholar, political theorist at Harvard, as she said about attention in the 2023 address on the future of the humanities, in a world in which attention is scarce, fragmented, and captured, the more important job is to help people rebuild the very muscle of their attention. We can help them once again find the value of their own attention, strengthen that capacity, and learn how to use it wisely. To take up the job of cultivating the instrument of human attention can feel like a very small contribution up against the scale of the challenges and problems we have in the world. But I have a hunch that if we are to put this problem of attention at the center of what we are asking the humanities to do right now, we might find a huge appetite for the work of the humanities. Studying our city's history allows us to attend more deeply to the place where we live, work, study, and dream. When we know our history, we become more aware as we walk through our city. This is the riverbank where indigenous communities made their home in the centuries before the arrival of Europeans. This is the block where Black men defended their community against white rioters in the summer of 1919. This is the house where anti-Vietnam War activists worked in the 60s and 70s to build a community of peace. Right now is a particularly important time to attend to our city's past. Washington, D.C. is experiencing an unprecedented moment in its history, but it's not entirely unprecedented. In our class, we investigate the long-standing tensions between the city as a place of local neighborhoods and a seat of federal power, sometimes very heavy-handed federal power. We examine the contradictions inherent in a capital city designed for a new nation founded on principles of freedom and democracy, principles which were broken in this city from the very beginning. In my teaching, I encourage students to attend to this history so that they can be part of the bigger conversation about what is happening in Washington, D.C. right now, and how our city should be shaped in the future. I think we, the faculty here at UDC, we all do this in our classes. We help students pay close attention to the world so that they can see it clearly for what it was in the past and what it is now, and so that they, our students, can be part of the public conversation moving forward about how to change it. Thank you.
May we please offer her another round of applause? What you don't know is that she flew back into the country from Greece just last week, beginning of this week, and she was terribly ill. But she did everything that she could to ensure that she would be here this morning, and for that we are grateful. Thank you so much. I'd like to now introduce an additional new feature to the convocation ceremony, and it's the awarding of the Convocation Awards. So we have 3, and these will be given annually. They honor the extraordinary academic performance of a student, the extraordinary academic teaching performance of a faculty member, and the extraordinary performance of a staff member in supporting the development and implementation of the Convocation program. This year's student honoree is Ms. Jade Martinez. Would you make your way? And so you all heard that Ms. Martinez is a 1L at the UDC David A. Clark School of Law, and that comes with a high price tag. Yes, it does. And so we are pleased to offer her a scholarship in the amount of $10,000. to support her law studies. And I think that thank you. So I'm going to hand you this letter. And this is your way of holding us accountable for the money that we just promised you on this stage.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This year's faculty honoree is Dr. Amanda Huron. She would join me at the podium. And I'd like to present Dr. Huron with a $5,000 credit. It's an award that's university, we hold the money for you. Mr. Strong is going to be the person that you get the money from. But she will be able to draw down across the academic year, and this money is for her to support the good work that she's doing with students. So she can use it for purchases of books, of travel, of conference participation. So the very things that she's been supporting, as you saw on this screen, we're now giving her a little bit of money to help you with those things.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
And this letter binds that we owe you $5,000.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Incredible. Thank you so much.
And our last award is to our Convocation superstar for this year, and that is Mrs. Valerie Lewis-Taylor. award reads, "In appreciation of and admiration for the talent and commitment that you bring to elevating the value of our community. Given this day, September 18, 2025, University of the District of Columbia." I told them last night, somebody tell her to dress up because she would use as an excuse, "Oh, I'm not dressed good enough to come out." So I said, you know what? Tell her to dress up because she's going to come out this time. I would now like to invite back to the stage the UDC chorale for the singing of "Lift Every Voice and Sing." If you're able, please stand. am certain that no one does that better than them. We have come, you may be seated. We have come to the close of our program. I want to do a couple of quick acknowledgments and thank you. I want to thank all of you for pausing with us today to celebrate the beginning of the new academic year at UDC and for launching the celebration of our 175 years of turning potential into power. I want to recognize faculty emeriti who have joined us, Dr. Beverly Anderson, Dr. Sandra Yates, Dr. Rachel Petty. I'd also like to again recognize, she's been recognized, but she's been a special person in the life of this institution, former Mayor Sharon Pratt. So if she could just give a wave. She did a very important and big celebration last night for Secretary Lonnie Bunch, and so I just want to recognize her. I want to thank the members of the UDC. I'd also like to thank Director Emily Delanos from Councilmember Anita Bond's office. Is she with us? So maybe she's not here, but anyway, she was to be with us. I also want to thank the members of the UDC Ceremonies Committee. This is a new committee a new committee structure for the university that we're just standing up, but they came together flawlessly and they have stepped up in the most powerful ways across the weeks leading up to this ceremony, and they will be in place for the entire academic year, leading the charge of bringing excellence to every ceremony that we do between now and graduation. So we're very grateful for them. I particularly want to thank the co-chair, the committee chair, Mr. Will Strong. I know he's someplace probably hiding, doesn't like to come out. But Will, if you're near, would you just come poke your head out and wave? I'd also like to say thank you to the co-chairs, Ms. Valerie Lewis-Taylor, who was just here, Mr. Kyle Nolan. He's our student representative to the committee, and he's doing an amazing job. If Kyle is present, would you stand up and wave? There he is, all the way in the back. He's done an amazing job. He's graduating in December, and so we're immensely proud of him. Dr. Malva Reed, who's been a person on every committee and driven us to the finish line in the most admirable of ways, and Dr. Yasmin Yerish, who is a professor in the political science program, and she is the person that looked at all of this when we were kind of looking like a hot mess and was like, you know what, I used to do theater, so I think I need to be the person kind of driving how we get to the finish line. So Dr. Yerish, are you somewhere where you can stand and wave, please? But she's been absolutely amazing, and so, there you go. Thank you so much. Thank you. So as we come to the close of this year's opening convocation ceremony, I'd like for you to stand, if you are able, for the singing of the alma mater, which will be followed by the benediction by Reverend Parks, and he will then adjourn us. I would ask that you stay in place as the platform guests are able to recess, and then we will meet you in the big tent that's at the front of the auditorium for a reception. So again, thank you so much.
Inspiring
Let us pray. Dear God, as we prepare to leave from this gathering, may the energy of today's convocation continue to inspire us. May the knowledge shared ignite curiosity, and may the vision declared here move from words into action. Let us carry forward the spirit of excellence, honoring the legacy of those who paved the way, while opening new paths for those yet to come. May this community of scholars, leaders, administrators, and dreamers be strengthened in unity, uplifted by hope, and committed to justice and truth. As we go forth today, may we find the courage to turn potential into power, the wisdom to transform challenges into opportunities, and the determination to make a difference not only here at UDC, but in the world beyond these walls. Go with purpose, go with strength, go in peace. And we pray this prayer and we say amen, and so it is. Amen.